Hey, how's it going, Old School RuneScape, and welcome back to another weekly recap, as this series has finally made its return to our YouTube channel after a long hiatus. Nevertheless, it's been a busy week for Old School RuneScape, so let's start by taking a look at last week's poll, which closed yesterday. With over 50,000 votes and 21 total questions, this poll was focused around Song of the Elves, which is due to arrive later this summer. A few important things you should know is that Crystal Armor Seeds were agreed to be added to the Gauntlet loot table. Crystal Armor was agreed to have a set effect, boosting the damage of the Crystal Bow. Stat Degradation was agreed to be removed from Crystal Bows, Shields, and Halberds, and this also means Crystal Imbues will be removed from the Nightmare Zone store. The Blade of Saildor was agreed to be added as a reward to the Gauntlet, however its special attack did not pass. A new Agility course, requiring 75 Agility, was agreed to be added to Prifddinas. The Loreworth Dungeon, a Crystal Tree farming patch, buffed super combat potions, and much more passed. This was a big poll, so be sure to check out the results if you haven't already via the link below. Moving on, we put out a dev blog addressing the new player experience. As we've had the ever so fortunate problem of welcoming so many new players into our community, we are sure you remember your first experience in RuneScape and how steep the learning curve can be. We're increasingly seeing that this curve is causing players to drop out before they're able to experience the real magic of the game. In this blog, we give a few of our ideas and ask for yours, like a new transportation system that's accessible only for the first few hours, or even making the agility skill free to play. Following that, there's a rather extensive blog on the state of player vs player within Old School RuneScape, where we address certain integral changes we'll be making without polling, and the changes we'll be polling for you to decide. Some of the more notable changes include allowing players to use loot bags in PvP worlds, making tier 10 emblems tradable, and making Teleblock free to play. In addition, we've got a newly proposed rework to Last Man Standing, including better starter gear, unlimited prayer, and potential new rewards. Your feedback here really is invaluable, so please do let us know what you think of these proposed changes. On to Deadman Mode, the Deadman Spring Finals rerun will include the top 256 players from the Spring Finals back in March. This rerun's going forward on the 14th of June, and the Summer Finals will be June 29th. Players can playtest the beta of the rerun tomorrow, that's the 24th of May, from 10:45 UTC, and again at 2:45 UTC. And lastly, we have the Bounty Hunter rework. While we await a dedicated Bounty Hunter design blog, we're proposing adding a leaderboard allowing players to see who has the top BH kills for the day, or most emblems farmed. We'd like to disable box traps, fires, bird snares, and cannons from being set up in Bounty Hunter worlds under 10 Wilderness, and we'd like to revamp the cosmetic reward shop. This is again where we'd really appreciate your suggestions. So let's get on to the actual updates for the week, with the main thing being the Hosidius house in Zeah, as it's had a massive overhaul. To make it quick, the Tithe farm size has been reduced from 31 patches to 10, and moved from the center of Hosidius to the southern coast. The 8 northmost plow fields have been removed. The player farm has been moved from the coast to the south of the main tower so that it's more central. The Glade teleport on Zarek's Talisman has been moved closer to the player farm. The size of the grapevines have been reduced. The saltpeter deposits have been moved closer together along with a new centralized deposit box. Many houses and businesses have been moved to an area where Tithe previously was. The southern church has been converted into a priest camp, and you'll be happy to hear the guard dogs have retired from their post at the cooking store. Updates out of the way, it's tradition we have a look at what the community's been up to this past week. Starting with Trio Elysian becoming the second ever player to obtain all 42 pets in Old School RuneScape. Zuhar created this masterpiece commemorating Mod Matt K's departure, and MMORPG completed the Theater of Blood on his Iron Man.
Now let's finish raids. And now for the stuff.
So that about sums up this week in Old School RuneScape. Be sure to check out the links below to learn more, and aside from that, we'll thank you for watching and we'll catch you next week.